We're going to do a really, really deep dive. It's going to be a little painful for some of you because some of you, like myself, until I really dove into what I'm about to share with you, this will be really painful because you've never taken a dive into your business quite this deep. This is how, so you guys know a little bit more about me. My name is Clayton Gitz, and I have been selling real estate since 2005, and I got into this business because I had a really bad experience with a realtor who was a really close friend of mine at the time, bought my first house. And I stepped back from that situation. I said, you know what? I can totally do what you just did, but I think I can do it at a higher level, and I think I can actually make people happy or happier. So I hopped in 2005. I married the love of my life, and I found out that I had cancer all in the same year, all in 2005. Wow. And I share that with you intentionally, and we're going to circle back to that a couple of times here over the course of the next hour or so. A lot of content to get through. So I'm going to get you guys, before we get started, I need your A games today. So I'm going to get you to stand up briefly with me. It's going to get a little weird, but that's okay because I'm so tired of being normal. I'm so tired of being normal. So what does normal get you? Normal.
Normal stuff.
Normal. All right. Who is familiar with cupping? Cupping. Remember Michael Phelps? We have one person. Do you cup?
I do not.
You do not.
I'm so healthy.
Have you cupped?
What?
Have you cupped?
No, I haven't. But
Okay,
I know people
we're gonna
who
cup
have.
to. We're gonna cup today.
Okay.
So, do you guys watch the Olympics where Michael Phelps had those huge bruises on his body? And everybody's like, "What? That's called cupping. We're not gonna do that. Okay? So I'm not gonna bruise you. But I'm gonna show you who drinks caffeine. Just about everybody. Okay. So this is a really good natural way to get energy into your body. Who has done breath scaling before? Raise your hand. Breath scaling. Anyone? This is going to be so weird. I'm so excited for you guys. Okay, so we're going to do some breath scaling and cupping. So here's how it is. Here's how it starts. I want your, make some cups with your hands like this. Okay, and then, Claudia, do we need to close the doors?
No, I think there's still some more coming, so let's leave it open.
Okay, so yeah. Is there a class going on right next door?
No.
All right, we're good. All right, so start at your ankles. If you get dizzy over the course of the next minute or so, sit down, okay? You're going to get oxygen in places that you haven't had it for a while. So start on your ankles, and this is an aggressive move. We're going to wake up some of these meridians. Yeah, it's a little weird. It's okay. Wake up some of those meridians in your body, all these energy sources in our body. Cup your butts. Get sexy with it for real. Yeah, feels good. Wake it up. Go to the other side. Real for real, guys. This stuff works. This is balance. Work your way up. Wake it up. This is aggressive. Lower back, big meridian, right here, right here. Good, good, I hear that, great job. Now, this is where you start to feel it, right here. Cups. Good, work your way up. Aggressive, all of these meridians. You should start to feel some tingling. That's energy. Other side. Good. Way on up, back. Okay, right here with me. This is what I do every night before bed. Just kidding. My wife would not have laughed at that either. All right, now, right here. Temple or forehead. Good. Now we're going to start breathing a little bit. Guys, this is not breathing, okay? This is breathing. Shake it out. Shake it out. All right. Breath scaling. So I want you to stay with me on this. We're going to do 10 breath scales. And again, if you feel dizzy, please sit down. So here's a breath. And it gets progressively stronger. So just follow my lead. I'm going to count them out, okay? Here we go. Number 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Oh, feel that, baby. 6. 'Cause that's called oxygen. Okay? That just hit your brain. Seriously. So what my mentor teaches me to do is when you're in a funk and you're sitting in your office and you're like, oh my gosh, the young lady that just came up here, I hope she comes back by. She was helping me get set up and she said, I need coffee like it's nobody's business. Let's scale. So when I'm in a funk, and I drink coffee by the way, but I don't want to drink too much coffee because if you're gonna see me, I get really weird when I drink too much coffee, but I'll stand up and I'll breath scale. We don't move anymore. I'll stand up and I'll move. I'll do a little bit of cupping. My wife is like, what do you do with it there? But then I'm energized and I'm focused and I'm back on track. Sit down. While you're sitting down, please turn to the person to your left and your right. I want you to shake them aggressively and say, thank you for being here.
Thank you for being
I'm good. So aggressive is not. Thank you for being here. All right, guys, let's get started. So finish strong, by the way, is now start strong. Because what's the date today?
6.
How many months of business do we really have left to generate in 2018? Really two. So this is really how to start and have your best year ever. So please take notes. This is going to be a deep dive. This is literally how I run and scale my business. We'll do about 85 million this year. I've sold 4 houses all year. So I'm 7th level for those of you that are familiar with that. So I've sold my mom's house, which was a nightmare. And I've sold my best friend's house and 2 houses in my subdivision. That's it. Okay, so I am, most of what I do, my role on my team is to recruit to the team. So here's what you're going to learn today. Has anyone read this book? All right, so it's called Traction. Okay. Now I'm going to give you about 45 minutes of this book, so you don't have to buy it unless you want to. I would highly encourage it, but you're not going to have to after this class. This is how we run our executive leadership meetings. This is the tools and systems that we use. This is what we do on a daily basis, our daily huddles. Everything that we've done to take our business from basically 0 to 85. Next year, our goal is 150 million with me completely out of production. Okay. So that's what we're going to get into today. Here. All right, so let's hop in. Thank you, Claudia. Can you keep one of those on for me?
Good.
Is that okay, guys? That's good? Okay. Vision. Why is vision important? This is going to be interactive, by the way. To focus. Who likes to travel? Yeah? My wife and I love to travel. Is it helpful when you're traveling to have a destination?
Yes.
Yeah, what happens if you don't have a destination in mind?
Wandering.
You just wander. So many times, and I am including myself in this. You know, oftentimes when we point at other people, how many fingers are pointing back at us? Yeah, so just realize when I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you guys today, and I've lived everything that I'm going to share with you today. So vision is critical whether you're building a business or frankly, whether you're trying to take your life or your health or your spirituality to the next level, having a vision, a plan of getting there. So let's talk about the 8 questions that are associated with this. All comes out of this book called Traction. The 8 questions are, what are your core values? And we're going to unpack each of these in just a moment. What are your core values? Do you have core values? Why is it important to have core values? Anybody? Why is it important to have core values? It's what you stand for. So are you more likely to get into business with either with buyers and sellers or with people that you want to attract onto your team? Are you more likely to get into business with people that you align with if your core values are crystal clear as opposed to not having any at all? Yes or no? Yes. Absolutely. If one of your core values, you'll see in just a second here, is no jerks allowed, you're much more likely not to hire that person. Okay? I've been there. No energy vampires? Yeah, could be a pretty good core value. What's your core focus? Again, we're going to unpack these. What is your 10-year target? Do you have a 10-year target? If you're not starting with the end in mind, today, not tomorrow, today. Where do you want your business, your life, your health, your finances, your relationships? Where do you want it to be in 10 years? And be specific. Start with the end in mind. What is your marketing strategy? Do you have a marketing strategy? Guys, this is all about, my passion is helping you take your businesses to another level, okay? So if you don't have a marketing strategy, we're gonna talk about why that's important. What is your 3-year picture? What is your 1-year picture? How do you get to a 1-year, 3-year? How do you accomplish a 1-year, 3-year, 10-year picture? You have quarterly rocks, and then you have issues. We all have issues. We've got to figure out how to solve those issues. That's what this operating system helps you do. Core values. What defines you and your company? So most of my core values, my team did help me develop them, but most of them are very much in alignment with who I am spiritually, who I am just as a person, who my mom raised me to be. So I want to surround myself with like-minded people, and it's totally okay if you're not like-minded in terms of where we want to go, because I'm a big thinker and I want you on that train with me. If you don't want to be there, totally cool. If you're not there, right? You're just not going to be on my team. And you guys should absolutely be thinking the same way. There are people in this room that have partners, they're in business with people that they either should not be in business with, or they're on the wrong seat. They're in the wrong seat in your business. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I had to make some tough decisions to realign. You need to limit your core values to 3 to 7. They have to be memorable. So I think I had 15 when I did this for the first time. Nobody could remember them. So do well, do right, do good. Those are our core values. Now we have sub-core values, but it's do well, do right, do good, because I can remember that, all right? And it's all about do well, do right, do good in the community, amongst our team and our families. So, lack of clarity hinders growth. So here's some core values for this fresh soup company called Soup. Can-do attitude is core value. So every hiring decision, every system, every tool, everything that they do runs through that core value filter. Okay, really important. No jerks, we talked about that. That's actually a core value for this soup company. Oh, being open and honest, being passionate, having a passion for your brand. If you're not hiring people that are passionate for your vision and for your brand, then why are they on your team, right? If you're not passionate about your vision and your brand, is it time to maybe reevaluate that brand and that vision? Yeah, absolutely. By the way, my company is Mission Realty. It's always been Mission Realty, and I've aligned myself with multiple brokerages at this point. So I'm a huge advocate of self-branding, of being your own brand. And then action-oriented is a core value for this company, Zoo. So let's see if this actually works this time. Why is clarity important? Just not going to be on my team.
Okay, it's called the trust fall. Okay, trust fall. Ready, set, go.
Do you understand why clarity matters? What did she forget to tell her little sister? Which way to fall. Okay, she fell on her forehead. Poor thing. So clarity matters. If you don't have a map, if you don't have clarity for your business, how are you going to get there? How are you going to get there? It's why many of us, including myself in the beginning, have been stuck. If you're stuck doing the same thing year after year after year, or month after month after month, is it time to potentially reevaluate and do something different? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So the question then becomes, why haven't you? But you're here, so that's a good thing. So let's move on to core focus. So again, you want to define your passion and your niche. What are you passionate about? What is your niche? What market are you trying to conquer? Have you guys found in life that what you focus on expands? Yeah? So can anybody give me an example of when you've really focused on something and that expanded for you? Yes, sir.
My wife, I was stuck in the friend zone for years. I just stayed focused on the internet. My wife.
Such a good example. Such a good example. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you focus on expands. So So I own a property management company as well as a real estate company. So guess what is not expanding right now? Property management. Yeah. Guess who's been stuck at 97 properties for the past 3 years? This guy. Okay, because I'm not focused on it. I'm actually not passionate about it. I'm not focused on it. What you focus on expands, guys. And I will tell you, if you wake up every day on fire, why did you get up this morning? Did you get up this morning because you had to, or because you wanted to? What? Because you wanted to? Who got up because they had to? Okay, thank you for your honesty. Guys, listen, it's totally okay. Totally okay. But here's the difference. And I watched my wife for 4 years get up every morning because she wanted to, literally on fire, to change people's lives. Here's a little nugget for you. When it's all about you, when it's all about us, it's much harder to get out of bed because you want to. Okay? When it's about other people, when your mission in life is focused on others instead of yourself, it's a whole lot easier, in my experience, to get out of bed because you want to. And I watched my wife do that for 4 years until I said, enough, I gotta figure this out, teach me. And by the way, I did the exact same thing that you did. Okay, so what if your passion was to create lifelong relationships and raving fans? What if that was your entire focus for your core focus for your business? Nothing else mattered. Do we chase too many squirrels in this business? Yes or no? Oh my goodness. And I am like the chief squirrel chaser. Okay, so everything I'm going to teach you guys today, I have absolutely been through it. Niche, solving complex real estate problems. That's my niche. One of the other issues in our industry is we're not differentiating ourselves. The consumer is having a really hard time figuring out why I am different from you and why you are different from me. A really hard time. So what do we do? Where do we have an advantage? Do we have an advantage if I'm competing against this young lady and she was referred to that client and I was not? Does she have an advantage? Yes. Is that truly, from a business standpoint, a differentiator? I don't know. Maybe. If your entire focus is right here.
So the person who's getting referred, yes, but the other person, no. Like if someone's referring us, that'll do good to your business.
If her business model is just referral only.
Exactly. So
Yeah, absolutely it is. So we're going to talk about a story called Acres of Diamonds here in a little bit that will illustrate that point. Okay. What is your 10-year target? Who knows what a BHAG is? Nice job. So you know what? Everything they said about Woodbridge up in Alexandria, totally not true. Because they didn't know what BHAG was. Big, hairy, audacious goal is absolutely right. Who has a BHAG for their business? Okay, for those of you that are not raising your hand, either you're worn out or you don't have a BHAG, and that's totally okay. So I had a young lady up in Alexandria who said, I asked her, how many homes do you want to sell next year? She said 19. I said, what if we made that number 40? What if we made that number 50? You know what? What if we made that number 60? And that's when I saw her tense up. And I said, your number's 60. Your number's 60. Here's the cool thing about our brains. Our brains, our brains are designed to do what? Thank you. Yes, good answer. To protect us. So the minute that we start thinking too big, they automatically do what? They automatically not only shut down, but they automatically start the negative talk. You can't do that. You're not good enough. You're not, fill in the blank. Whenever I get to that place where my brain starts there, I know I need to go there. I know I have to go there. That's a threshold that I have to cross, because guess what? Once I cross that threshold, guess what my brain's going to do? It's going to create another one. And an amazing thing happens when you push. My 10-year-old daughter, I'm trying so hard to teach and it's painful because she's not there. But she's 10, I get it. If you want to succeed massively in this life, in any area, guys, in any areas, you know what? Let me back up for 1 second and preface this. I have to say this so nobody walks out here saying, Clay, guys, whatever adjective you want to use. if you're happy where you are and you're totally fulfilled and you're just there, totally cool, okay? This entire presentation is for people that want to literally just jumpstart their lives physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, and just take it to another level. Not overnight, piece by piece, okay? Piece by piece. So I'm telling my daughter, if you want to succeed massively, honey, sweetheart, you have to fail. And guess what? You're going to have to fail massively if you want to succeed massively. What do they pay professional baseball players that hit 300? Anybody? $50 million plus. What does hitting 300 actually mean?
That's what you actually got out the park, not just.
No, you missed 0.7.
No, you just got at bat.
Right.
You got on base.
Right.
You got on base 3 out of, guys, you struck out. You got out 7 out of 10 times. And they pay you $50 million plus. In this business, if you call 10 people and you get 3 clients, how much money do you make? A lot. A lot, especially in this market. Not quite in my market, but especially, that's superstar territory. The problem is, we get told no once, and what do? Why? Why? Why?
Why the intimidation?
Yeah.
The brain tells us that it's rejection, and we don't like rejection.
Why?
Doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good.
Guys, we can actually keep going because it gets deep. It like gets deeper and deeper and deeper. My little 8-year-old who is just off the hook, like she will have a conversation with you and with her finger in her nose and think nothing of it. She is the most confident, and you'll smile while she's picking her nose. Because she's confident, and isn't it amazing? Who has like 2 kids or more? I'm like, dude, you're not from the same parents. Did you ever have that thought, like total polar opposite? And she just is fearless. Do you remember when you were fearless? And then you grew up, and then reality kicked in, and you're like, no, I can't do this or I can't do that. You know, what if you had somebody, we have men in this class, yes. So what if there are 2 men? 3? So every morning, if I was your alarm clock every morning, and I woke you up and I said, dude, you are amazing. You are super sexy. You need to get out of bed right now. Let's go attack this day. Let's own it. Let's own it. You got this? We're gonna do this? You got it? You with me? You coming with me? All right, you got it. See? So, but here's what we're telling ourselves. Here's what we are telling ourselves. You're not good enough. You can't do this. Hit snooze. Hit snooze. No. You got 10 more minutes in you. That's what we're telling ourselves. We've got to reprogram. We know that neuroplasticity is real. So what we tell ourselves becomes our reality. I've had to learn this the hard way. The more that you tell yourself, now listen. There's got to be some reality to what you're telling yourself, okay? There's got to be a little bit of reality to it. But if you're telling yourself positive, that is to illustrate, if you've got people in your life that are constantly pulling you up instead of what? Or keeping you right where you are. I told the slow people in Alexandria that if you don't have a coach, if you're just not there yet, to get a buddy, but don't get a buddy that's like you. Okay? You don't want a buddy to say, it's okay, sweetheart, you didn't make your calls this morning. I didn't either. You want to go get a latte? Let's go. You don't want that. You don't want that. Who do you want? Yeah, yes. We need more motivators in our lives because we're not. And it's the consistency that kills us, yes? You guys are I promise you're going to leave this class today and you're going to be a little weirded out, but you're going to be a little fired up. Here's the issue. You're going to fall back into the routine, into that comfortable place. Then that's where it's your job. That's where it becomes your job to stay at wherever level you are when you leave this class today. Okay, that's the challenge. So my whole drive up here this morning, I'm listening to podcasts. Because I knew that if I listened to anything else, that I couldn't bring the kind of energy that you guys needed. Right? There's so much negativity is out there right now. My goodness, I cannot consume it. I can't consume it. So what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? All right, 10-year target, BHAG. If you don't have one, have one. If your goal is to sell 10, make it 20. If it's 50, make it 100. You will figure it out. I'd rather you sell 75 homes if your goal is 100 than 10 if your goal is 20. Okay, you will figure it out. That's a huge tip, by the way. Most of us are thinking way too small. Way too small. It's okay. Allow yourselves to be a kid again. Allow yourselves to dream again. Autumn & Associates, I love this tagline. Their 10-year target is a referral from every client and every client from a referral. That is their 10-year business target. If you don't know where you're going, then you might just what? You might just get there. So one of the biggest tragedies in life, I actually heard this on the podcast this morning. I thought it was really cool. This is my journal. I was driving up 95, writing in it, which is not safe. I don't recommend it, but the stuff was just too good. One of the biggest tragedies in life, this guy said, is to wake up one day and realize that you could have had more, been more, and become more. And Hal Elrod, who wrote the book The Miracle Morning, actually said, no, I disagree with that. It's actually, what if you woke up every day, not one day, every day, and realize, this was Robin Sharma that actually said that, by the way, he's a stud. What if you wake up every day and realize that you could have more, or could have had more, could have been more, and could have become more? Right? What if that is your reality? Yeah, we're going to talk about why in just a second. So, amazing book, like game changer. Who's read The Miracle Morning? Okay, if you haven't, I mean, sincerely, game changer, game changer. Who has children? Okay, is it hard to squeeze in an hour in your day? For what? Yeah, for anything, like to take a bath, like anything. It is hard. Once you deal with the kids, and my wife and I collapse into bed at 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, because we get up at 4:45. Because of The Miracle Morning. And we get our spiritual stuff, we get our other stuff that I won't talk about, and we get our, you know what I'm saying? We get our spiritual stuff, we get our, that's totally just derailed myself. We get our physical exercise in, we get our personal development in. So we are reading something new from somebody that just inspires us 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Okay? When this book was written, all the guys that picked this thing up and said, this is amazing. They were all these superstars were saying, look, I was journaling, but I wasn't doing all 5 or 6 of these things every day. Like, I was working out every day, but I wasn't doing all 5 or 6. You tie like 3 or 4 of these things together, rocket fuel. All right. What is your marketing strategy? Do you have a marketing strategy? Your target market, do you have a list? What are the geographic characteristics of your clients? Where do you want to do business? Who do you want to do business with? Define it. Write it down. You're more likely to work with those people if it's in writing, if you're focused on it. What is your proven process? So how do you provide your service to your customers, and why are you different from everyone else? We'll talk a little bit about that. What are your 3 uniques? So high-touch customer service, these are some ideas. We generate results, and we only work by referral. We only work by referral. I'm a big Buffini fan, so I'm a huge fan of working by referral. And then what is your guarantee? So if you look at other businesses out there, a lot of them have guarantees to the consumer, to give the consumer more confidence in the brand. So what's a possible guarantee for our businesses? Anybody? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we believe in lifelong relationships, not just one and done. So everything that we do, the very foundation is to make sure that we're taking care of you before, during, and long after the transaction. Absolutely. But you gotta mean it. You gotta mean it. And again, we're being pulled in so many different directions that even if you mean it, it's hard sometimes. So many of our clients are not getting a consistent experience. That's why this is important. That's why processes if you figure out how to make your business franchisable, okay? If I walked into your business today, could you sell it? Could you sell it to me? And would it be worth anything? Yeah, 2 years ago, if you walked into my business, you would have said, heck no. Heck no. This place is chaos. And it was. It was chaos. It was chaos before this. And listen, this is not the only operating procedure. It's just the best one that I found that translates across industries. My wife and I own 4 businesses. All of them operate off of traction. So guaranteed, you should have something that your customers can count on. So our guarantee is, we've got a couple of them, your home sold guaranteed or what? Or we'll buy it, and I will buy it. Your home sold guaranteed, or we will sell it for free. You just, whatever. Customer service, like you will get a call back same business day, period. Whatever it is, but then you have to what? You gotta follow through. Okay. So we're moving on to your 3-year picture. You guys with me? Yes. We don't need a cup? Okay, sure? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, what is your 3-year picture? So, how much money do you want in your bank account in 3 years? And don't say a lot. Specifically, how much money do you want in your account in 3 years? Guys, I'm so sorry. Oh, totally got sidetracked. Please just pass those around for me. So that is called a vision traction organizer. I apologize. So that's you can fill that in part while you're here, but I would encourage you to, and you can Google this, by the way. If you Google traction, there's a tools and resources section that will walk you through a lot of this. It is by Gino Wickman. So on here, there's a 3-year picture. You want to determine where you want to be 3 years from now financially. And again, I would encourage you to think much bigger than you're currently thinking, if you're game for that. You want to determine your profit. So many, I know so many realtors that, including myself at one time, that would run around saying, yeah, I sold sold 75 million in volume last year, but I'm broke. Right? So it doesn't matter how much you make. What does it matter? What matters? It's how much you keep. So what is your net profit in 3 years? Okay? We're running businesses. Remember, most of us are really good salespeople. We suck as business owners. That's a fact. We got in this business because we're really good with people, but we had zero. They don't teach this stuff in school. They don't. You guys, it's called the School of Hard Knocks. It's how we figure it out. But I just got so sick and tired of being sick and tired that I had to find a business operating system. So what will your organization look like? So we're buying a building next year, and I'm so excited because I know exactly where it's going to be. I know exactly what it's going to look like. I know the colors. I know the vision boards on the walls. I know what the people are going to, the kind of people that I want in my world. I know everything. I know how many people I want in that office. Everything. So be specific. Get excited about it. Darren Hardy, who's read The Compound Effect? Darren Hardy, another really, really good book. So he said that he realized one day that he was not the kind of man yet that he needed to be to attract the kind of woman that he wanted to attract. So he literally got out his journal and he said he wrote 5 pages. And he was specific. Specific. Okay, long, Latino, long, brown, curly hair. Just the lips, the eyes, everything. He shared this at a conference I went to, about 5,000 people. And his wife was in the audience. He said, honey, stand up. And he said, what I wrote that, he wrote that 5 years before he met her. He said, is what I wrote in that book true to a T? And she stood up and he threw out some descriptors. It was exactly. But he had to focus on becoming the kind of man that could attract that. It wasn't all about looks, guys. You know what I'm saying. It was all about a quality person, a quality human being. Right? It's the same thing with our clients. It's the same thing with our clients. We have to become more attractive to what? Who do we serve? The marketplace. The marketplace. It's about becoming more attractive. Again, not physically. It's about becoming more attractive to the marketplace. How do you do that? Yes, yes. By providing a higher level of service. Yes, simple stuff. When I got into this business, and ladies, I think you've always done pretty much an exceptional job as far as I'm concerned. But when I came into this business from pharmaceutical sales, so I wore suits everywhere. So when I got into the business, I was wearing a suit, like a suit. And guys would show up with like, I don't even know what. And I know that I got business just because I was professional. You know, how about engaging? You know, one of my I use my phone as a personal development device. So one of my words on my phone is present. Is to be present. I struggle with this, especially at the end of the day with my girls when I get home and I'm just tired. It's just being there with them. It's such a craft when you're working with clients to make them feel like the world revolves around them. That will differentiate you. That will differentiate you. Because so few people that we compete against know how to listen. It's not hard to differentiate ourselves, guys. I think I just got way off on a tangent there. So, 3-year picture, determine revenue, determine profit, what will your organization look like, and again, just make it fun. Like, make this business fun for you. Get excited about this. What is your 1-year plan? So we're back down to just the next 12 months. In the next 12 months, what is your profit goal? What are the measurables? What are some measurables in our business?
Volume, number of houses.
Yeah.
How much you net.
Yeah. What's the big one?
Net. How much you net.
No. Where does it all start?
Oh, like how many houses you sell, how many clients you
Contacts and appointments. So appointments to me in my world is the big one. So that's a really important measurable. One of the problems that we have is we're not measuring. First of all, we don't have a goal. We certainly don't have yearly goals. We absolutely don't have daily goals. Like, how many calls do I need to make today? How many at-bats do I need to get to get a deal? Okay, I mean, you can actually figure that out. A lot is okay. A lot is okay. And then you got to make a lot of calls. Some of us have more skill right now than others. Is that true? Yes. But is it possible, if you have less skill today, to get to a higher level of skill? Yes. How? Yes. But the problem is we're not practicing, we're not doing it, we're not engaging, we're not getting in the trenches. Guys, I practiced like I didn't role play practice, like I practiced on the phone. It's just what I did. I don't recommend that, by the way. I'm a huge fan of role playing. But we're gonna end this conversation today talking about like why we do what we do. Why we do what we do. Why did you get out of bed this morning? And hopefully when you leave here, you'll have a glimmer of, okay, the fear thing, because it's not even fear. One of my mentors told me this, and it changed everything for me. This guy just smashes it in business and in life. And I asked him one day, I said, dude, how do you do it? How do you do it? How have you done it? How do you continue to do it? And he said, Clayton, it's simple. He said, I am just willing to risk my ego more than you are. And he dropped the mic. That was it. I will never forget it. Because so much of what we do is driven by our egos. Maybe it's fear, but maybe it's just we don't want our ego to get hurt. Guys, if you're coming from the right place, which I believe that all of you in this room are, then you should have no fear about picking up the phone. None, and certainly not any ego. One of my core values used to be, I don't know why it's not anymore, honestly, was no ego, no fear. And I constantly say to my team, why do you have any fear at all if you're coming from the right place and just trying to serve? Just trying to serve. Just calling to see what I can do to help you. Do you know of anybody that might be thinking about buying or selling a home? Because I would hate for you to get mixed up with some of these, other folks out there that don't love you as much as I do. It's just coming from that place of serving. That's what we do. We just serve people. You'll be amazed. You will be amazed. Okay. And then what are the 3 to 7 most important priorities that must be completed completed in order for you to be on track for your 3-year picture. Okay. Quarterly runs. So if you break your year down into 3-month periods, it's a whole lot easier to stay focused. Instead of just setting a 1-year target and then you don't really get to celebrate anything until you hit that 12, you want to celebrate every 90 days. More every 30 days if you can. So you break your year down into 90-day targets. So what matters the most for the next 90 days in your business? So I'm going to share this with you. This has been a really cool tool for us. Who uses Trello? 2 people? 3 people? Okay. So this is a free tool. It's an app that looks basically just like it does here on your iPhone. I love it. I mean, I do a lot of my to-dos. Instead of using paper now, I use Trello. This is our, basically our executive leadership meeting. That's it. Like next Tuesday, we're meeting for 2 hours, and that's what we're discussing. So I've taken that vision traction organizer. These are all of our to-dos, and I'm happy to share this template with anybody that wants it. Those are our to-dos. These are our quick hits for the day, so anything that takes 2 minutes or less that we need to talk about as an executive team. If you don't have an executive team, if it's just you, that's okay. Then you're literally taking time out of your day to focus on your business. The big mistake I made for 5 years is all I did was, what do? You get on that transaction treadmill, right? And and then your business dies, so what do? You freak out, and then you pick up the phone a little bit, you do a little bit of lead generating, and you're back on that transaction treadmill. Right, you're not doing any lead generation, and then your business dies, so what do? You freak out again, and you do a little bit of lead generating, right? When are you working on your business? Never.
In my sleep.
Never. Yeah, which means never. Yeah, exactly. So you got to slow down long enough, and that's what traction does for you. So quick hits, priority issues. These are urgent issues that we have got to figure out. This is where you move the needle forward in your businesses. Priority 2 issues are just not priority 1 quite yet, but they're still issues. These are the to-dos that we've completed, the completed issues, our goals for 2018. And the cool thing about this is when we're done solving an issue, then I can just move it over to done issues. I love the visualization. I can add a Google Doc. I can add checklists. I can copy, at Sarah, for example, which will send her a message to say, hey, I just made a note that applies to you in this particular. Really powerful. And you can attach as many people as you want to. Cool. So do me a favor, if you'll just give Claudia like a business card or something and just put template on there, okay, and I'll make sure you get it. Okay, so, is this clear so far, guys? Yeah. Good, all right. There we go. What are your issues? Every business has issues. When you sit down, hopefully this weekend, and you map out just this big, hairy, audacious business plan for 2019, you're going to have issues. And those are the things that move the needle forward. And as you start to accomplish that business plan, that big, hairy, audacious business plan, you are going to have issues that come up that need to be solved. And again, if it's just you, that's okay. I would encourage you, if you don't have a coach, get one or a buddy that is not like you. Remember, we talked about that. You're going to add those issues to that Trello board or to your vision traction organizer right here. All right, so now we're going to start moving here, guys. So people, we talked a little bit about this. So having the right people in the right seats is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. One of the things that I've discovered as a business owner now is that I did so many things in my business when it was just me that I had no business doing, but I didn't have a choice, right? Didn't have a choice. I had to do it. Like the only thing that I'm really good at, I think, is vision casting. I can create. I'm a big thinker, but I can't implement. I get too distracted. So I went out and found an implementer. Are you guys business partners? Okay. Yeah, beautiful thing. So if you have a visionary, if you take a visionary, and again, this works in any business, a visionary, and you find an implementer, or an integrator, and you put those two together, it's called rocket fuel. And there's a follow-up book to Traction that talks about that. Highly recommend what that relationship looks like. So make sure you have the right people in the right seats. And again, if you don't have any people, guys, if you want to have people, this is all designed to help you hire the right people. Don't make the mistakes that I made and just hire because you're so burnt out on dealing with transactions and inspection addendums and paperwork that you just hire the first warm body that you can find. Hire talent. Hire talent. And it will change your world. It will change your world. That's the number one issue that business owners deal with. Okay, that's our organizational charts. So again, visionary, integrator, rocket fuel. This is our property management business. My only goal. By the way, I took a step back financially to step out of business, okay, and I was totally okay with that. Because what did I get back? My sanity. Yeah, my sanity. My sanity. When you know how to get there, though, guys, when you know how to get there, if I had to start over tomorrow, I could get here in 2 years. It took me 11 to get here. If I had to start over tomorrow, I could get there in 2 years because I have what? What do I have? I have a map. I have a map. Success is no longer a secret, guys. It's no longer a secret. It's a science. It's a science. And this is one of many ways to get there. Okay, so that is that. Again, the people that you're aligning yourself with, they have to get it, they have to want it, and they have to have the capacity to do it. GWC, get it, want it, capacity to do it. Some resources that we use in our business, I use WiseHire a lot for administrative folks, works really, really well. I use Facebook and referrals for buyer agents or just straight up lead generation. WiseHire just doesn't really work well for sales agents in my experience. Okay, data components. So we use something called CTE. Does anybody else use CTE in here? Okay, so we I think it's like $19 a month. It's very inexpensive. We run all of our business analytics through it. So if you want a really good way to track your business, track your goals, track your actual numbers, whether or not you're hitting them, if you're on track for your monthly, yearly, quarterly targets, take a peek at this. They have demos online. Weekly activities should be based on numbers, not the type of high-level numbers you see in a P&L. Your scorecard should help you actually anticipate problems. Your scorecard should be able to say, I'm not on target in March to hit my yearly goal. And that should be able to tell you specifically what you need, like where are you off? Do you need more buyers? Do you need more sellers? What do you need? Do you need more buyer agents? Do you need to hire somebody? Okay, that's what these things are meant for. And they also red flag categories that are off track. Measurables. So what gets measured gets what? What gets measured gets done. Yeah. So when we're going to the gym, well, again, something else that I've discovered, like when you measure it, it gets done. If you're tracking what you're doing, the results actually come much, much faster. Numbers cut through all that murky subjective communication between the manager and their direct reports. They create accountability. Accountable people appreciate numbers. If you don't have people, you need, again, a coach or a buddy to hold you accountable. I've had so many coaches that just let me drive the show, and I finally found somebody that's like, dude, you told me you were going to do this. I'm doubling your coaching fee. And I gave him permission to do that. If you don't get it done, I'm doubling your coaching fee. And I pay him $3,000 a month. So I don't want to pay $6,000 next month. Right? You've got to have that nonsense in your life. I played basketball growing up. My best coach was my senior high school basketball coach, and I hated him. Why do you think I hated him? Man, he pushed me. He pushed me, and I was so much better in retrospect because of it. Numbers they create competition. If you don't have your numbers in front of you on a daily basis, guys, that's your map. That's your map. If you have a team, if you don't have your team's numbers up in front of them on a daily basis, and if it pisses them off, you have the wrong people. Okay? Or if it pisses them off in a good way, you got the right people. You got the right people. That's competition. You want somebody to look at that board that's down and say, I got to get after it today. I don't like that. I don't like being number 2. Okay, you got 5 or 6 of those people in your world, game over. Game over. They create teamwork and numbers solve problems absolutely faster. Okay, we're getting close here, guys. Issues. Identify, discuss, and solve. Again, we're not solving the issues that we should be solving to move the needles forward in our businesses. So the issues list, that's that IDS. It's on your sheets here. So I love this story. I went to an event last year, and who knows who Jerry Rice is? Yeah? Who's Jerry Rice? Like the greatest wide receiver ever, okay? So I went to this event last year, and it was an ex-NFL football player that was teaching this event. And he said when he went to the San Francisco 49ers, and they're in like training camp, and he said he goes over into the line with all the wide receivers, and they're all yucking it up, and he looks over at the quarterback. He's like, hit me. So he takes his little lateral cuts, boom. And he goes running on, another 10, 15 yards, goes back to the end of the line. Hit. Goes on out, takes a little cut, boom, boom, runs 10, 15 yards, gets in the back of the line. He notices everybody's looking over on the far side of the field. And there's this guy on the far side of the field that's like this. Boom. And he just takes off. And he cuts. Boom. And he's boom, 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 boom. 100 yards all the way down the field. Into the end zone. And he's like, who the heck is that dude? Like, he's making us all look bad. They're like, that's Jerry. That's Jerry Rice. And he did it over and over and over again. And so he walked over, he's like, Jerry, what are you doing, man? He's like, you're making us all look bad. And Jerry said, you see these hands? He said, yeah, I see your hands, because they're massive. I see your hands. He said, every time these hands touch a football, they score. Every time. So he was training his mind and his body in training camp. If we played at a tenth of that level, what would your businesses look like? At a 10th. I don't do it. I don't play at that level. That's why he's the greatest ever. You've heard about his workouts? Like his uphill workouts that made what's his name throw up first time he did it? T.O. First time he did it. I mean, just yacked. That's next. If you want to be next level, you gotta bring it. You gotta bring it. And this is hopefully teaching you guys a little bit of how to bring it. Make every decision as if you were going to the Super Bowl. Make every decision as if you were going to the Super Bowl. Okay, process. So if you don't have a process for all these things, guys, you need one. If you want to scale your business. If you want to scale your business, how do you hire? How do you fire? I'm not in my business. I'm completely out of my business. There's no way I could have stepped out of my business completely if I was responsible for everything. And guys, you'll never step out of your businesses if you're responsible for every single piece, which many of us are. What's your HR component? What's your marketing component? So we do a lot of Zillow, just some stuff that we do. We do a lot of radio. We do a lot of television advertising. I don't do anything with farm. We do a lot of Smiling and Dialing and Raving Fan Club. So I do a lot for my database. About 50% of my business is database, is Raving Fan, and I'd say about 20% is Zillow, and then the rest is mixed up with radio, TV, and some other other stuff. But again, what you focus on expands. If I could go and do it all over again, it's very likely that I would be all in with my database. All in. It's the number 1 and number 2 realtors in my market, and I'm not one of them. 100% referral based, and they do 130 million plus, and they're incredibly profitable. One of them is Buffini, runs Buffini like it's nobody's business, and the other one runs kind of a version of Buffini. So if I could do it all over again, I'd probably go there. Less headaches. operations process, how will you provide service to your clients? Consistency. Again, you're creating a franchisable model. How can you create that consistent process? Be very specific. I outsource all of our accounting. If you haven't read a book called Profit First, I would highly recommend. Guys, leaders are what? Leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. The Miracle Morning will help you find more time in your day to actually read a little bit more. Leaders are readers. Profit First, it teaches us how to actually pay ourselves before we pay anybody else, including the government. I love this book. Love this book. Read it. Game changer. Okay. Customer retention, so Rating Fan Club. I just bought my second one of these. My clients love it. It's a high-end carpet cleaner. I say high-end, I mean, I think it cost me like $400. I did buy a tent a few years ago. It's sitting in my garage because I didn't realize it was so hard to put together because it's a very large tent. So don't buy a tent. Chocolate fountains, popcorn machines. Like, be different. Like, wouldn't it be so cool if your clients just knew, like, if they were throwing a party, they could come to you, like, every time and just get all this, like, really cool stuff? Because who are they going to think of when they have somebody they want to refer a business? They're going to think of you because you're different. Just a thought. All right, sales process. So how do you actually convert a prospect into a customer? So this is Ben Kinney's process. Who has heard of 10 days of pain? Okay. All right. So I have to remember this because the people up in Alexandria, again, that we've established that they're slow. Do not Google 10 days of pleasure. Okay. I'm just telling you. I made that mistake. So it's called 10 days of pain, but I renamed it 10 days of pleasure because I want to make it fun again. I don't think it has to be painful. So you Google 10 days of what? Pain, and you'll have all of the scripts that Ben used, all of them. Okay? Good stuff. All right, almost done here. So traction. So before traction, we had no accountability in our business. We had really poor communication. We had stagnation. We were kind of just stuck. We had complete chaos. I mean, it was just chaotic. We succeeded in spite of ourselves. Did anyone feel that way? Like it was amazing to me. We had some big years. I'm like, how did we do that? How did we do it? How did we hold it together? How did more clients not fire my butt? Because I was just all over the place. All over the place. So that's what my business looked like before traction. With traction, oops, this is what it looks like now. So we have massive accountability. I have a sales manager. And again, guys, I could break this down for anybody, but I pay my sales manager on a per transaction basis. So I think she gets 5% of the 3%, and she'll make like $70,000 off of that 5% this year. So she's totally happy, and the more she grows that division, the more she makes. And then on top of that, she'll sell 15, 20 houses as well. She gets to pick. That's her deal. But I don't touch that division. She runs the whole thing for me. And she'll never, ever, ever leave, and we'll talk about that later, possibly. Communication is gone through the roof. Organization, rocks keep everyone focused. Everyone in my business now has a rock. Everyone has a quarterly rock that they are on target to accomplish. Okay? And then it's also created tremendous momentum for us. Okay, so one of my mentors, I've never done a presentation yet without sprinkling in some Jim Rohn, so I'm going to do that right now. So for things to change, what has to happen? We have to change. Like something in our world has to change for things to change. What's the definition of insanity? It's really not. I actually looked it up. It's not, but let's just say that it is, just to keep it cool. The definition of insanity is not really, but we'll say it is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. How many of us, including myself, live every day like that? It's like Groundhog Day. And then a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year goes by, and what? It's the same. We're driving where we don't want to drive. We're living where we don't want to live. We're doing it's so on and so forth. For things to change, you have to change. If you want more, you got to become more. Jim used to always say that that we do not pursue success, rarely does our level of success exceed what? Our level of personal development. Changed my life. Guys, I used to be terrified. I mean, legs shaking, terrified to do this, to do what I'm doing right now. I would have been up all night last night, but I knew to have the level of impact that I wanted to have on people, and I'm so not even close to being there, that I had to do it. So I've now done it a lot. And every time I didn't puke, after the first 2 or 3, and it just got easier and easier and easier and easier. So the point is, whatever it is that if you're not quite there yet, and to tell you that I didn't fail miserably, like made a complete ass out of myself, miserable in a couple of these classes, it would be a lie. I totally did that. And I walked out and I brushed myself on and I said, okay, let's get back up on that pony and let's ride it again. Okay? And I'm going to continue to do it until, well, as long as God lets me do it. And you can apply that to anything. So here's the question, and you've all heard this. Why? Back to, why did you get out of bed this morning? Because you wanted to or because you had to? Why? What motivates you? What is driving you to be more? And listen, we don't need to wait until tomorrow. It really needs to happen. It really needs to happen right now. Like in this room right now, a shift mentally. Because tomorrow, first of all, what if tomorrow never comes? But secondly, tomorrow turns into what? Exactly. Into the next day and into the next day. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start that new diet tomorrow. I'll make more calls tomorrow. Something came up. I'll make more calls tomorrow. No, it's got to start. The mental shift has to start right now. And you're the only species. We are the only species that can make that decision. Where do birds fly in the winter? Why? Because they have to. They don't genetically, like it is in their genetic code. Where do we fly in the winter? In the house. Do we have to fly south? No. Some people do. My wife does. But no, you do not. So can you change course at any time? Yes. So but why don't you? So why? Here's the second question. And I love this question. Why not? Why not?
Because it's easier to tell ourselves the excuse than to look for the resolution.
Yeah. So I believe that many of us are way too comfortable. Are just way too comfortable. So did you know that there are actually like 3 types of people? So I had this crazy mentor, and he related this to me. So 3 types of people. You have caged people, you have comfortable people, and you have charged people. So caged people are people that you've been to the zoo? To the zoo? Okay. Did you know that a lion that is caged long enough, what do lions do when you see them when they're not sleeping because they're very lazy? What do? Did you know that they will not even, after a certain amount of time, they will not even test the boundaries? You know why? Because they've been caged too long. Because they've been caged too long. If the door was open, they'd never figure it out. And that's how caged people are. And I have been there. But the door is open. And it's totally okay to just step out. Then you get into the comfortable place, which I think is just as bad. It's just as bad. When you ask a comfortable person how they're doing, what do they say? No. Fine, good. I'm good. Life's good. I mean, I've got some kids, wife is doing great. Job's okay. I'm good. Comfortable. When you ask a charged person, how are they doing? What do they say? They are annoying. I am better than I deserve. They piss us off. They do. I am better than I deserve. How are you? Fine. Good. It's your problem. When a charged person walks into a room, do you feel it? When a caged person walks into the room, do you feel it? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Now, there are different levels of charge. I'm not asking you to be, charged to you means something different from me. But again, if you're waking up on purpose because you want to every morning, because it's not for you, it's for her, and it's for your family, it's for your kids, it's for your friends, it's for impact, then it's a whole lot easier to be charged. A whole lot easier to be charged. I don't know why that is. I believe it's the way that God made us. Why not? Why not now? Why not right now? Like right now, make that shift in your brain. No more. No, enough is enough. I'm tired. That little voice in the back of my head, I'm tired of hearing it. I know I can do more. I know, and I'm going to do more. Today, I'm making that mental shift that I'm going to do more. And then lastly, and it's not up here, why not you? Why not you? Why not you that in 2 years, you fill in the blank. It's not my journey, it's yours. You fill in the blank. Whatever it is. You want to feed 10,000 people in Guatemala or where? Why not you? You want to have a beach house on 25 acres in Hawaii? Why not you? Why not you? Whatever it is. Your journey, not mine. Fill in the blank. Guys, this is one of the only places. You realize how blessed that we are to have been born in this, as jacked up as it is, to have been born in this country with the options that we have. It got raised by a single mama on $18,000, $19,000 a year in literally a roach-infested house. Literally, I wore them to school. I wore them to, I remember, I'll never forget sitting in class one day and looking down in the 6th grade, and there was a roach weaving its way in and out of this sweater that I was wearing. My mom hates it when I tell that story. And I went to the nurse's office and was crying and faked being sick. I didn't come back to school for a week. Guys, the opportunity that we have is amazing. Okay, so that's not the issue. That's not the issue. We don't live in Iraq, okay? We live in, where are we?
Woodbridge.
Woodbridge. We live in Woodbridge, not in Alexandria, where it's, those people, they... It's fine.
Talking about Alexandria from here.
All right. So let's do this, guys. So I'm done. Okay. So with this portion of the presentation, for those of you that came to just learn about this, then you are free to grab something to eat and just boogie. Okay. There are a few people that want to